Okay, so welcome to today's video. So today, guys, we are looking at some phone launchers. Some good, most of them are good, most of them are really good in fact, but they're all different in their own particular way, and yeah. So some of them are meant to look like iPhones, some of them are meant to look like Windows phones even, and some of them are just meant to look unique or customizable. So yeah. So let's get into the main video, why don't we? After we do the intro. So at number 11 is HiLauncher. HiOS Launcher to be precise. So this is also XOS Launcher. Yeah, so this is a pretty nice UI. It's made by a Chinese phone company. There may be ads on it, which is a bit annoying. I haven't experienced them myself. So yeah. So it might be different depending on your kind of like depending on whether you've got ad block on with your phone or not. But overall, this is a pretty good launcher. It's very fluid. It looks very pretty. It's got, as you can see here, it's got a nice It's got a nice thing to show you stuff recommended for you and hot games. But it isn't working for me for whatever reason. Maybe that's my ad block working. But yeah, overall this is a pretty nice looking launcher. You can change the themes. Of course, there's a few upsells to try and make you download a thing which makes your phone go a bit faster or whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what they want you to do, guys. Don't use this. Yeah, so there's some bad reviews of it because of they're saying that the phones are bad or whatever, but I don't know. But yeah, there's also XOS Launcher, which is very similar. This is XOS Launcher. It looks very, very similar. But there's a few differences, such as the time is centered in the middle now for some reason. Now it's called X themes, and there's a thing called rolling. And that makes stuff go like that. I don't know about this launcher. But yeah, it easily categorizes your stuff, which is interesting, into categories, which aren't very accurate, but they're categories, you know. But yeah, I've seen better implementations of categories, really, when it comes to launchers and trying to group them correctly. Because why do I have? Oh yeah. For some reason, it thinks that Bromite is a Google app, maybe because it's based on Chromium and it's very similar. But hey, you see that with a lot of launchers. But yeah, overall, it's very similar to HiOS Launcher, and overall, it's pretty nice if you can deal with it being a Chinese piece of software and it possibly doing a few upsells or maybe selling your data. I'm not sure if they sell your data. I could be wrong whether they sell your data, but you know. But yes, so why don't we move on to the next launcher? So at number 10 is what's it called again? Oh yeah, it's Microsoft Launcher. So this launcher, of course, it tries to make you download all the Microsoft stuff and all that. It might be good if you want that Microsoft life. It's pretty customizable from what I found. You can change some stuff. And it's got a nice news feed. Not news feed kind of stuff in here. I'm not sure. You can sign in with Microsoft if you want to, and you can get all the personalized stuff. I wouldn't like to do that, but you know, that's me. But hey, so overall this is pretty nice. You can yeah, you can choose different wallpapers. So I need to connect my device. So you can choose different wallpapers easily. They've got a lot of settings. I didn't mean to launch settings though. You can change your wallpaper like that, and it will come up with some Bing wallpaper or whatever. Nice and changes. So yeah, so overall this is a nice launcher if you're okay with Microsoft stuff. I wouldn't recommend it myself, but hey, we're only at number 10, aren't we? So who cares really? but I'm not sure on this launcher. But it's better than quite a lot of launchers, and at least it's trustworthy, you know? So why don't we move on to the next launcher? Why don't we? So this one's a bit of an unconventional one, guys. This is text launcher. It has all the text stuff. So it just has text to try and maybe simplify your home screen and make it a bit easier to navigate apps without all those addictive icons and stuff like that. Maybe. Yeah, it's pretty cool, this. So yeah. And also it's pretty smooth, and you can filter apps and you can search for stuff. And it's very minimal, like some of the launchers on this thing. And it's also open source, which is cool. So why don't we move on to the next launcher? So, this is another launcher, which I think is pretty good. So, this is the Poco. So, this is at number 9 now, I believe. I'm at, we're at number 8 now. So, this is the 8th best one, in my opinion. This is the 8th best one. So, this is a Chinese launcher. It's made by Xiaomi for their Poco phones, but they give them you can download the app off the App Store easily. So that's pretty nice. But this is not this is made by Xiaomi, so that's one thing to consider. So yeah, so it's very fluid. There's the optimizer, so I can free up RAM. Look, it just said 1 gig freed. So that's nice. Quite a lot of Chinese kind of launchers do that. They include a RAM cleaner and stuff like that. So that's pretty nice. So why don't we move on to the next one? So also, before I move on to the next one, actually, I'll talk about customization. So you can customize easily with this. It's not the most customizable though. So hey, it's not the most customizable, but it's not the least customizable. So why don't we move on to the next one? So this is the next thing that I'm going to be talking about today. This is the next launcher I'll be talking about today. So this is at number 7. I'm talking about this launcher. It's called Lawnchair. I believe it's called Lawnchair. It's a Google Pixel-like launcher. It's a bit like the Pixel launcher, but it's fully open source and it's very nice. And you can use this easily. I do have a few gripes with it. I believe you can't remove the Google bar at the bottom on here. So yeah, that's not very good. But hey, this gives you the Pixel experience that you might be looking for. So if you don't have a Pixel but you still want that Pixel look and feel, then I guess this is the launcher for you. There used to be a thing called Rootless Pixel Launcher, but that isn't the best anymore. It hasn't been updated in a while. So yeah, this is one of your main options. So go ahead if you want that. But we'll move on to the next one now. Okay, so at number 6, here is the Smart Launcher. I believe it's Smart Launcher 5. I forget. It's Smart Launcher. So this is another launcher which it has some nice navigation, as you can see here. You can access all your stuff very easily with this launcher. Very easily. So yeah, you can use this to easily kind of scroll around the kind of thing. This thing at the bottom, so navigation is at the bottom, and it nicely categorizes all of your stuff, although it could be better. Like for some reason, let me find a bad one. Aurora Store is in internet. Actually, that is a good categorization, but communications. Overall, this is actually a pretty good categorization system. But yeah, I have seen better, but it's actually pretty good overall. But I'm gonna find a bad one. Okay, so there's some stuff that I might question in this, but hey. Overall, it has a nice smart search. You can search easily. And overall, it's pretty nice. It uses Microsoft News for its news. A bit like the Microsoft launcher, and yeah, it's very nice, and it has a widget place, and yeah. Overall, this is a very polished kind of launcher, and it's very nice. So we will move on to the next one, why don't we? So at number 5, here is Sentien Launcher. I believe that's how you say it. Sentien Launcher. So this is a minimal launcher. You can easily get all of your stuff in this launcher. And yeah, it's a very nice launcher. So it's very simplified. There's no icons unless you go to search. So if you have a cluttered home screen, this might be quite nice to have. And you can search easily, and there's a lot of settings and stuff, and you can add a widget if you want to. Like I could add in Brave Search widget. I don't know. But yeah, this is overall a pretty cool open source launcher. In fact, yeah, I need to mention this is open source. And before you guys go into the comments going like, why hasn't Sandro Linux covered the other launcher that I think's the best? No, I don't, but if you're in the audience, you might do. You might think it's better, but that's your preference, obviously. Wow, do not ask again. But this is Kiss Launcher, so this is very similar, so I don't really need to go over it, but there are a few icons, so some people prefer this, but hey. So yeah, basically they're very similar, so that's the reason why I put them in the same number 5 spot. So yeah, let's move on to the next one, why don't we? So at number 4 is the iOS 14 launcher. I believe I need to recall the name quickly. Launcher iOS 14 is what it's called. So this is one interesting launcher, I guess. You might like this one, but it looks very much like iOS. So there are a few things that makes it not look like iOS, like how it doesn't have notification center. But of course, because it doesn't handle notifications and it can't really handle notifications, then that makes sense. But it does have search at the top. And overall, it's pretty polished. It gives nice app icons, that nice curve, and yeah, that's very nice. And it has some customized icons to make it look a lot like iOS. And of course, it has the left hand, whatever this is called. I don't know what it's called. Oh yeah, I need to reconnect. So I don't know what this is called. I need to probably remember. But of course, the weather comes from Yahoo for whatever reason, I don't know. But hey, so yeah, this is pretty nice if you want an iOS looking Android thing. And it has all the context menus like iOS, and you can even edit home screen with that rumble effect. But hey, that's pretty nice. So why don't we go on to the next one? So this is really just personal preference, really. When it comes to, I think that this is better than iOS 14 launcher or whatever it's called again. But yeah, this is the Launcher 10. It's meant to look a lot like Windows Phone, especially Windows Phone 10. And of course it has a very similar menu. So if you're homesick from Windows Phone, or even if you just like Metro UI, then this is a great launcher for you. And of course you can customize everything. You can add widgets, you can add new tiles and all that. These menus right here look a lot like the Windows Phone ones and the Microsoft ones in general. And yeah, it has really nice animations. So I'll show you the animations, why don't I? It can go in like that and out. It might look a bit bad on this capture, but this like display capture, but of course it's better on the actual phone. It looks much more snappy, looks really nice, and yeah, you should really check out this launcher. It's very nice, it's very cool. But why don't we move on to the next one? We're getting very close to number 1 right here. So of course we can't forget the the granddad of all these launchers, maybe one of the best launchers, maybe most customizable launcher by far, I believe, but it needs a bit of work to make it look nice, depending on your preferences. This is of course Nova Launcher. So everybody in the industry has really heard of this launcher, haven't they? Pretty much everybody and their dog has used it at one point, and it's a very solid option. It's an oldie but a goodie, and yeah. Overall, you should really check this launcher out. But of course, it's been used a lot before, and it's the most customizable with the settings. You can pretty much change everything, and that's very nice. But why don't we move on to the next one? Because most people have heard of Nova Launcher, but that's of course the number 2 spot, Nova Launcher. Okay, so this is the thing, guys. This is the thing you want to check out. This is the number 1 thing. In my opinion, the best launcher. This is a new launcher, pretty new, but it's very nice. It has a nice monochrome design, but it's rich, full of features. It has an app box, so it hides away all your icons, and then you can look at them. They look way less addictive, which is nice. You can search for stuff. And I haven't signed up for Tree yet, the ratio tree, and but it's very nice. Apparently, it's the messaging hub. You can do all sorts of cool stuff here. You can do commands in the command kind of thing. This thing right here. Right here, you can do all sorts of stuff, like you can search the web, you can get news, weather, songs, YouTube, notes, timers, tickets, all sorts of stuff. And they also have settings in this thing, obviously. You can change some stuff, so you can change whether you want it to be focused or whatever. You can change the settings. So you can change whether it's Google or Quant that's used in the root. There we are, the root. So yeah, so overall this is a feature-rich launcher full of cool features. You can easily access them, and yeah. It also has some extra features I haven't took advantage of yet. But overall, this is a very cool idea. I remember signing up to for an account very early on because I wanted to get the beta, and of course it's now here fully. So that's very nice. So why don't we move on to the honourable mentions, you know, the ones that didn't make the cut, but they're still good to mention, and I'll say why they didn't make the cut, or maybe I might not, depending on the launcher. Some of them are really good, but I just didn't want to mention them because they just didn't exactly make the cut, but hey, I'll explain why. So let's go to that. So this is the first honourable mention. This is Trebuchet. Trebuchet? I'm not sure. This is the default launcher on Lineage OS, and it's meant to be like an AOSP launcher. And it's meant to look very nice, and I do like it overall. So yeah, I think it's overall pretty good. So yeah, and it's pretty stock, but it's still good. So if you're looking for that stock look of Lineage OS, then I think Trebuchet, I'm not sure. It's pretty good. Yeah. So yeah, so that's one of the honourable mentions. So the next honourable mention is Apex Launcher, and here's why the reason why I don't like Apex Launcher. It's because it keeps nagging you until the end of time to use their launcher, pay for the pro version, quick, do it now. I don't like that kind of business mentality of trying to upsell so much. I'm really unsure with this thing. It has some ads in it. It's not very, I don't really like Apex Launcher anymore. You can use the Classic Edition if you want to. That's a bit nicer. That's much nicer, in fact. But yeah. But why don't we go on to the next honourable mention? Because Apex Launcher used to be good, but now it's not as good. But you can still use it if you want to, I guess. But I wanted to mention it because I know quite a lot of the community like it, or did like it before all this stuff happened with it. But hey, okay, so here's the next one, Emerald Launcher. So Emerald Launcher, yeah, so basically Emerald Launcher it's pretty nice, but it's a bit too minimal features and it just looks a bit ugly. But some people like it, so I'm unsure. But I'm not the biggest fan of it. What the hell? But yeah. So it can get new. You need to do a full scan to change the app. Whoa. To change the what apps are on there. But hey. Overall, this is a alright launcher, I guess. But let's move on to the next honourable mention. Why don't we talk about this launcher then? This is Windows WinX launcher. There we are. So this is meant to look a bit like Windows, as you can see here. Navigation, nice. Looks very much like Windows. Has all the stuff. You can have all this nice stuff here. I think you can create folders on the desktop. I'm unsure. But hey, this is very much like Windows. It's mirror Windows, but I'm not the biggest fan of it because it's just a bit weird. But you might like it, so I needed to mention it. But hey, that's one other honourable mention. So why don't we talk about Metro Launcher 10 or Metro Launcher 8.1? So this is, of course, meant to look like the classic style of Windows 8.1, although I'm on the Windows 10 launcher, but it still looks like 8.1. I don't know why it looks like 8.1. Don't ask me. I'm not the developer. Yeah, but it has some nice animations, I think. And yeah. Overall, this is a pretty good launcher, I guess. But it's not the best in the world. But, you know, it's an option if you want to. I wanted to mention it because it looks pretty cool in a way. So, this is the last honourable mention, guys. We're getting close to the end of the show. But, hey, so here is one launcher. It's a nice little kind of app. It's meant to look like the Windows launcher, but it's meant to look like Windows Phone. But yeah, it's pretty nice, and you can add tiles and stuff. There's a lot of features in this thing, but yeah, it's pretty nice, and I would say it's a pretty good launcher overall, and I don't think there's any ads in it either, which is nice. So yeah, and it looks quite a lot like Metro UI, which is nice. So if you like Windows Phone, then great for you. This is a launcher for you guys. So yeah. So let's maybe finish it up now. So thank you for watching today's video. Follow me on LBRY and Odysee. You can follow me on them, and of course you can send me some LBC if you want to. I don't know. You can of course, you can like and subscribe and share if I haven't mentioned that already. And yeah, so you can of course check out other videos about Android, maybe about the best browsers or whatever. And yeah, I've done quite a few videos before. So yes. So thank you for watching. There'll be more videos like this coming up. I want to do more Android related content, or just OS related content when it comes to mobile, because that's the thing that you should probably do if you're a content creator. So thank you for watching, and peace out. And also go to sandrolinux.com if you want to read more cool stuff and you want to get cool access to stuff that I might not put on YouTube or Odysee. And also, I am doing stuff on Odysee exclusive to Odysee and my website. So there might be a few exclusive posts or early access posts on there. So those will be free, but you have to go on there to get them. So yeah. But anyway, thank you for watching, and peace out this time, actually.